Edition. 28-year-old Elizabeth Wathuti is an environment and climate change activist who nurtures young people to love nature, to be environmentally conscious at a young age. Elizabeth has been teaching school-going children the importance of planting trees at school as a way of conserving the environment. She says the best way to teach children about the environment is by assigning them to care for trees, documenting growth progress, and encouraging them to motivate each other to plant more trees. NTV's Rose Wangoi sat down with the Youth Climate Change Action Champion and now brings us her story in our weekly segment, Women in Power.
My name is Elizabeth Wathuti. I am an environmentalist and also a young climate leader. I'm also the founder of the Green Generation Initiative that nurtures young people to love nature and to be environmentally conscious. And today we are here at Treeside Special School in Kasarani, and we're here to continue the implementation of our Food Trees for Schools project, which is a project that is aimed at addressing the challenge of food security, but also raising awareness among our children and pupils and generally the young people about the impacts of climate change, but not more so on that, but a lot more on how they can be a part of the solution, such as by making sure that they are growing fruit trees in their school compound that can end up supplementing their school's feeding program. We came to this school and we mapped out one corner that was enough for 100 fruit trees. So that's what we planted today. And this was a mix of loquats, guavas, avocados, mangoes, and also oranges. And the assorted mix of it is to also ensure that there are fruits in and out of seasons, and fruits is something very nutritious. Because I grew up and I spent so much of my childhood in the most forested region in Kenya, that's in Nyeri County. So all I know as a child is the clean streams that were flowing next to my homestead, it's the beautiful trees, the butterflies. At the age of 7, the late Professor Ngari Mathai was my member of parliament, and that's when I got a chance to plant my first tree. And it's a memory that still sticks on to me and has continued to help me grow in my passion, grow in my love for nature, but even go out there to influence how other people are responding to climate change issues and how other people are taking up steps and solutions to tackle environmental challenges. For me now, working with children is something really special because it enables me to nurture and raise more young environmental enthusiasts. If all of us were environmentally conscious, a lot of the challenges we are facing today caused by humans would not be happening because we would be very cautious about how we treat nature. We'd be very cautious about even small things like throwing trash out of car windows, making sure that our streams are clean, making sure environment is clean, making sure that we are protecting our forests. It's a Fruit Trees for Schools project, and we have 10 active schools that are ongoing. In fact, this was our 10th school. And for each of the other schools that we've planted, we have been able to distribute and grow up to 500 tree seedlings for each school. We also in schools do this through Adopt a Tree campaign. So we have to make sure that every child in every school we go to has got a tree that they plant, and they're assigned to take good care of it, nurture it, water it until they finish school. And as well, the cycle continues with the other students that join in the new year. And then at the same time, we have to embark on an entire year-long monitoring and evaluation plan to make sure that these tree seedlings are surviving. So impact for us is being able to see to it that all the fruit trees we are planting have been able to grow to maturity and that they can be able to provide the much needed nutrition for our children. My work, I would say, as a young environmentalist, is how I'm now able to bring these local solutions to the global stage to make sure that we, of course, number one, have more support coming in to the local solutions, and also that we have a lot more conversations about the work that is already going on the ground in the global conversations, and of course to make sure that we are pushing from just having policies to implementing policies that also in a huge way benefit people on the ground, because the climate change impacts are a lot more affecting communities, and these communities that are most affected, even in our continent in Africa, even right here in Kenya, these are the same people that are leading the solutions on the ground. So we talk a lot more on the challenges, but we forget about the stories of resilience. How can we be able to make sure that we have long-term, tangible solutions to the impacts of climate change? Sometimes you have droughts, sometimes you have floods, and we're very quick to respond with short-term plans. But for us, the focus is how can we make sure that our communities have long-term solutions and projects that can be able to even caution them in the next drought season, in the next rainy season. And I think being able to move in that way, shaping policies in that way, and making sure that it's aligning with the work on the ground is the most important thing for us. First, right now we are at beyond 100,000 trees, and I think for us the impact and how we give this number is in terms of the trees we can actually account for the growth. And secondly, it's also the aspect of how we can continue to encourage more Kenyans to establish tree nurseries that can be able to support in the contributions towards the 15 billion tree growing initiative. We ought to embrace that culture of collective action, of collective responsibility, where nobody's left behind, where we're not just asking a few individuals to plant trees, and we're not just asking a few individuals to participate in conservation, but all of us are part and parcel of that. We take up personal responsibility and initiatives to make sure that we are not just doing it for the sake of doing it, but we are doing it so that our children and our children can have food, they can have water, they can have clean air, they can be able to thrive in an ecosystem that enables them to thrive and survive in good health. And that will only be done if all of us take that personal, heartfelt initiative to participate in environmental conservation. Have been able to engage in a lot of international engagements, and I think the biggest forum I spoke at was at COP26 during the World Leaders Summit, where I was addressing about 110 heads of states and other leaders around the world, and the speech was very clear to what is true to my heart around people making sure that we embrace love and compassion in this work that we are doing, because we are doing it for ourselves, for our own survival as humanity. I've also been able to get a lot of recognitions, both nationally and internationally, for my work, and also for using my voice within the global space to advocate for climate action and to advocate for people to be part and parcel of environmental conservation. And recently, a few weeks ago, among the 100 most influential young women in Africa, and I also received the Time 100 Impact Award in Singapore just last September because of this work that I've continued to carry on. Awards is just a recognition as well for a lot of the other young people like me out there that are stepping up and choosing to not be stopped by the challenges around, but stepping up, taking up leadership, and making sure that we are doing whatever we can within our capacity to address the challenges around us, but also to support our communities to be able to continue thriving and surviving even in this era of climate change.